plenty to talk about and plenty to do. So get the gossip, get the scoop, and tune right into the editorial to keep you in the loop. It's the Eddytorial, a Wichita baby podcast.
Welcome to the Eddytorial. Today's episode is going to be a pretty exciting one. We have a new guest, actually. It's a first-timer. It's Chris with Jackstacks.Eats. How you doing?
Hey, doing good. Thank you for having me.
Of course. And then we have pretty much what seems like it's going to be like a regular co-host, I guess. I don't even know. But it's TKG, a.k.a. the Kansas Gastronomist.
What's going on, Eddie?
Hey, we're hanging in there. Today, I want to talk about your adventures, Chris. If anybody follows Jackstacks.Eats on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, or anything else?
YouTube.
You'll know that he's been doing this big pizza tour that recently ended. And we're going to go ahead and just talk through the list, talk through his adventures, whether he plans on eating pizza anytime in the next, month or so. Because, I mean, personally speaking, I did a burger tour that's kind of similar. I've done pho, where you're going around, you're eating, 20-plus places in a matter of like 2-3 months. And by the time you're done eating, you don't want to touch that dish ever again.
That's a lot.
Yeah. So you said 23
different spots
in the Wichita area. So what's the furthest you went to? McPherson?
I think it's Mountain Ridge.
Mountain Ridge, that's where.
I think Mountain Ridge will be the furthest I went.
Did you follow along on his little travels?
I did. And what's interesting is I actually spotted Chris eating a slice of pizza just yesterday.
Yeah.
After the tour.
A stalker?
Yeah. We were in the same
food groupie.
We were in the same place, same time.
Yeah.
Checking out some Wichita Brewing pizza actually.
Well, let's go ahead and jump into this list. Let's go back to the front. So we're gonna go through some of the honorable mentions, and then we'll discuss some ones that we think would be worthy of to be on the list. But let's go into it. So the first one that had an honorable mention, I love this place. It is the back alley in Newton.
Yes, that was a very nice trip. I had been there before, just for a football game up there.
Mm-hmm.
But it was just quick eats. I don't really remember being that good. But going back and having the pulled pork pizza stood out to me a lot.
What is it? Wood fired? Is it how do you know how they make it?
I'm pretty sure they're the ones that got a spinning oven.
Mm-hmm.
I think they have a spinning oven in there, so it's a brick oven.
That's really cool. I don't think I've seen that. I haven't been there before.
So off Main Street or something like that. It's you can't miss it when you go to Newton. I mean,
right.
You kind of could, I guess, but it's an excellent place. I've only been there once, but I loved it, and I remember I ordered a pizza to go just to have one extra with me. And I do need to make it back out there. Another one on your honorable mention, not technically a pizza, but it's a pizza roll. This one's a classic for a lot of Wichitans. It's a po' boy pizza.
Yes, po' boy pizza. That speaks to my childhood right there.
You went to Southeast, right?
Yeah.
So you're right down the street.
When it was right down the street, yes.
Now, did you? I remember you, because I follow you. I pay attention to what you post.
Right.
You got 2 dishes, didn't you?
At Po' Boy?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got their regular cheese, which was a very first for me. I've never ordered just a regular cheese. And then I tried their Supreme, which after I got it, I remembered back in the day why I didn't order it, because it was a lot.
Yeah.
Pepperoni or just sausage, those were always the go-to.
Okay. Yeah, I've had the pepperoni roll at Po' Boy, and oh my gosh, it was phenomenal. I've only been there once, but I love the lady that runs it. She's so kind, but she's doing the whole thing herself. I think. I think she was the only one there when I was there. Anyway.
Yeah, when the dad was alive, her husband, he was the one usually working there. He just sit there. He had just a mug on his face, you would think he was mean. But he just took care of all the kids in the neighborhood. We used to hang out there. He had the arcade games. That's when they were a quarter, and we would just hang out there before 30 minutes after school, and then head on home.
How long has that? Either of you know how long it's been in town?
I don't know, but we can Google it sometime during the show, because it's that whole area is a little hotbed. Not very many restaurants, but you have N&J across the street.
Yeah.
And then you have Southeast Carryout right around the corner, and there's just a lot of good eats over there.
I hope they're able to keep it open.
Yeah, sure. Hope so too. It's a good spot. It's unique. Nobody else has a piece of roll like that. And when the exterior is nice and crunchy. It's just it's hard to beat. Like you can't beat that. It's real simple, but it's hard to beat.
So would you go there in high school, you and your buddies?
Oh yeah, you're running over there for lunch. You know, because it's not too far. Especially when you're upperclassmen, you can leave. Like that's the first place you're gonna go. Or when Southeast was right caddy corner next to the laundromat, that's where you would go as well. That's when I was in middle school. I think by the time I got to high school, that's when they had moved over to Oliver.
So you have definitely been going there your whole life.
1990.
1990. Okay.
Ooh, okay.
So they're coming up on 34 years.
34 years.
Sheesh.
That's if I get the episode out this year.
What's that?
That's if I get the episode out this year.
Yeah.
If the publishes next year 35. All right. Next up on the honorable mention list, you had Angelo's.
Yeah, so Angelo was I had a lot of people in my ear saying that was their favorite pizza. Definitely a thicker crust, not much flavor to it, but the toppings, it made the pizza. Like the cheese was simple, but the fully loaded one with all the toppings, I ate the cheese first, but by the time I got to that one with all the toppings, the juices had already seeped into the crust, the sauce was into the crust. And so it was very enjoyable because the quality of the toppings was pretty good.
So I actually compiled my own list, not necessarily to talk about, but I figured out what are my top 10, and I put Angelo's for me at number 3. I love their pizza. Yeah. I love it.
I have had it multiple times. It's just not something we get often, just because there's so many pizza places around town. But it's a good pizza. I don't know if I'd make it my top 5, but it's worthwhile.
Yeah.
So when I moved to Wichita, it was not open. It had did the building burn down? It was closed for.
So it used to be over on South. Was it Hillside? Or Oliver?
I'm not sure.
Or was the arcade?
Not sure.
I'm gonna look that up too.
But how long was it closed? I mean, it was closed for several years.
It was closed for
right?
Yeah, it was a hot minute.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm a big Angelo's fan though, just generally.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been in town for ever.
Right.
I mean, I don't know, at least 30 years.
It's been a long time. I know I had my parents and stuff talking about it, or just
it closed in
elders.
2006. 2006 when it closed over on South Oliver.
And then it reopened in 2016-ish.
Sometimes was it this decade or last decade? I can't remember.
It was you mean like pre-COVID, pre-2020?
Yeah. So it was pretty. Yeah,
it was at like 2017 or something. So it was closed for a good 10-ish years.
Yeah. Then because they opened up over at Central and was it Edgemore or something like that, or Oliver over by next door, the old Papa John's.
Oh, it was
and
in
they
that
moved,
little
little strip center area.
Yeah.
That's what I remember. And then I never made it to that, and then they moved, and I just never.
Yeah, they moved to the old Picasso's space.
They are slammed every single time I drive by. I drive by there a lot. At least a couple times a week.
I gotta go back and try their Italian food. I've never had it.
I haven't either.
Never?
The pizza's so good. Yeah.
Hey, most of us are out west, so
Yeah.
I got a dinner table right here.
Hey.
Get that set up. All right, next up on the honorable mention, this one is a place I really do enjoy, Il Vicino.
Yeah, Il Vicino. That's a great spot. So I've been going there for lunch for years.
Which location?
The one right there on
College Hill or
College Hill.
Yeah.
College Hill.
That's the one I've always been to. It's just a quick lunch. It was a cheap lunch. You get that. I love their Caesar salad because that's the only place that I know of that actually puts anchovies in it. And I'm a big fan with the dressing of chopping up that anchovy.
Have you ever had the meatloaf at Il Vicino?
I did not know that
I didn't even know that was an option.
So, I mean, I know you guys have had meatloaf recently. You didn't have a good experience with one restaurant, which we'll talk about that some other time.
Right.
But the meatloaf at Il Vicino is probably one of my top 3, maybe favorite one in town.
Wow.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I never would have expected that. I've only got pizza at Il Vicino. It's not my preference. I last time I went to Il Vicino was at the Bradley Fair location. In fact, I think I've only been to the College Hill location once. I don't know if there's any difference in quality or taste or anything like that, but
Okay. Next up on your honorable mention list, and you guys said you guys just went there recently, Wichita Brewing Company.
Yes. So Wichita Brewing Company, it's unique. That's what started this tour.
Yeah.
So it's right up the street from the house, and I was like, let me try their pizza. Everybody talks about their pizza. And then when I had it the very first time, it was delicious.
Yeah.
Like the crust was nice. I was surprised that it fell into my honorable mentions because going back, it wasn't as good. So I don't. It was something a little different with the crust. The crust can get a little. I can't even describe it, but it's like an airy, pale taste. But the toppings that they have are pretty unique and pretty delicious.
On this list, so when you're doing your list, were they all one visits, or did you give some places a second visit?
Wichita Brewing Company got a second visit.
Mhm.
That's the only place that did, and it was because I went for lunch and I didn't have my phone was dead,
Yeah.
so I couldn't record it.
You have one of those portable chargers, see, man.
I know, and that was just because I riding with somebody else, and it's like,
Mhm.
oh, I forgot all my stuff in my car. But I had their smokestack pieces, so that review did not get put on there. And that smokestack is delicious. It was very good. The crust was perfect, and it would have been my top 5 if I had my phone.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's crazy.
So 5A technically for WBC.
So did you get a
Yeah.
different pizza the second visit?
I did because I
Okay.
don't want to go back, and I
Yeah.
gotta have that you just
Newness.
first time
yeah.
trying it.
Yeah.
I want
Like
it
the
to
new
be
car smell.
fresh and, yeah.
100%. I get
I don't want
it.
to go in it with any thing that I've already thought of or what I want to say. I want to actually taste it and then experience.
I'm not questioning the artist. And
Yeah.
how he paints. I hear you.
All right. The last one you had is the Mound Ridge place, the Hub.
Oh, so the Hub, that place is pretty unique. It's super nice.
Yeah.
Like it's a
You don't expect it.
old-
Yeah, you walk in, you're like, oh my gosh, this place is like
super
super nice.
Yes, it's awesome.
Yeah.
I
then
love
you
the
got like
decorations.
the other bar, the coffee shop that
Yeah.
has desserts and
Mhm.
stuff on the other side, and I
Yeah.
was just like, wow, coffee.
Little mini brewery or
Yeah.
Self-serve,
Yeah.
self-serve
Yeah.
beer.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
like
really
you
neat.
just get your glass. Oh, man, that place right there is pretty nice. I mean, Mount Ridge is pretty small, so when you're standing outside looking around, like,
Yeah.
okay, this is all they have.
Mhm.
But I mean, they did a really good job, and it's going to definitely attract people to come there.
Yeah.
because it's super nice.
Because during Halloween time, there's that pumpkin patch right around the corner. PNM or something like that. Probably one of the best pumpkin patches we've been to. So you match that,
Wow.
follow that up with the Hub. You got kids, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to plan that out this year.
All
I haven't
right.
been to that one.
all right. So let's go ahead and move into the top 5.
Yes. Some good pizza.
All right, here we go. Number 5 that you had on this list was Oak and Pie.
Yes, oak and pie. So here's the unique thing about oak and pie. For me, that was the only place that actually had like a garlicky type seasoning on their crust.
Mhm.
So like even though it's a thicker crust, which I do not prefer, like it had a little more flavor.
Mm-hmm.
So that made up for it because I'm a big crust guy when it comes to pizza. So all my ratings and everything is mainly based off of the crust because I
Mhm.
feel like a lot of people get the toppings right on pizza.
Yeah.
And unless you've got some bad quality ingredients, but crust is very important. So they had that, but then I had the barbecue pizza. It was good later, having it late, so I was confident in my decision to put in the top 5 for sure.
I'm a big fan of oak and pie pizza. I don't know if you've noticed this, but whenever I've reviewed oak and pie pizza, there's a segment of people that are like very anti oak and pie pizza, and to your point about the crust and just everybody's got such different preferences. And I'm actually not a huge crust guy. And so some of the pizza places that I like, it's more about the sauces and the
Yeah.
toppings rather than the crust. But to a point about oak and pie's crust, they have an amazing gluten-free crust
Yeah, I
that
heard
that
about
I
that.
love. And actually, more times than not, I get the gluten-free crust when I go there. So
I'm about
I think
to
it's a
try that next
cauliflower
time.
crust, I believe.
Yeah, I'm about to try that next time.
And they have, I think, Kids Eat Free on
Oh,
either Tuesday or Wednesday. I took my daughter there one time, and
Nice.
yeah, it's a nice, great deal.
You
'cause,
can't beat that.
people in Wichita love a good deal.
yeah.
And when you can feed your kids for free, it's nice.
They have like a house red and white wine as well that's like on tap, and
Oh,
and it
wow.
comes out cold.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of a neat little thing that not everybody,
Yeah, I
not,
didn't
not
know
all
about
restaurants
that.
have. Yeah.
Oh, but I gotta mention the Italian nachos there.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give that a better rating than the pizza. Like, that's
Really?
how good- the Italian nachos, I'm a big fan of.
Yeah.
Big fan of.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Next up, this is another wood fire. I've noticed you're a big fan of wood fired pizzas.
Yeah.
We've talked about Wichita Brewing, Il Vicino, Oak and Pie. Is the Hub wood fired?
I think so.
I think so.
So this is another one. This is a West Side location or West Side spot, Maple Street.
Maple Street. I have not have. I've been there multiple times. It used to be when I lived in the God area,
Yep.
right up the street. And not only do I love it, my kids really love it. Like it's like their favorite pizza.
Mm-hmm.
So it's pretty good, and they do a good job with the toppings. But their crust is what stands out. Like a lot of those places that make. So my perception of pizza, like in Wichita, starting this tour was like everybody wants to make those small pizzas that are all single serving, floppy in the middle, not a lot to their crust. Everybody's focused on toppings. And Maple Street was like one of the first places I had in the city that I was like, oh, this is good pizza because their crust actually is a little bit more sturdy,
More firm.
and it's like it holds up real well.
Yeah. Let me ask you this. Talk about the firmness. Are you a New York style pizza guy?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's I hit or miss. So New York, that's where my perception of the best pizza is, just because my visits there.
Yeah.
But a lot of places have a similar floppy style, but my favorite place is a little bit more firm with a good crisp and crunch, and it's called Champion Pizza up in New York.
Okay.
Yeah, and
I
it's
think I've
right in
heard
the
of it.
what do you call that? The
Manhattan area, or
Italian
Little Italy area.
Little Italy.
Okay.
Yeah, it's right. It's pretty close to there.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Essex area.
Yeah.
So it's pretty nice.
I was just in New York last October, and I had 4 or 5. Yeah. Oh man, I had a place called Joe's Pizza that was excellent.
Yeah.
I need to write a story about all the pizzas I had because it was just I love just New York pizzas. Love it.
Yeah.
It's so good. Just the reheat, they come out nice. It's nice. It's pretty nice.
Avivo.
Avivo?
Yeah. So have you been to Avivo?
Yes.
Thoughts?
I like Avivo. Personally, I liked Avivo more than Maple Street. I have not eaten at either of those places in quite some time, but I ate at both places within a short period of time of each other.
Yeah.
And Avivo was more my style.
Yeah.
And I think
Avivo is number 3, and Chris, that's what I was asking.
Yeah.
It's higher. Yeah, he had it higher than Maple Street.
Yeah. I agree. Have you had Avivo?
Oh yeah, I've had it multiple times. I know everybody saw the video that went pretty viral online about the owner asking people for support and whatnot. And I went. It's just like pizzas are hard because there's so many places for pizza in town, and when you're feeding your family, sometimes you just want to get what their suggestions are, and you forget about these places. You know, like Maple Street. I enjoyed Maple Street, but it's like off my radar sometimes.
Yeah.
Avivo. Good pizza. Actually had it. We had a board game night with family, and I brought a Vivo, and everybody loved it. And it's just we haven't really talked about it since. Just because you just forget about these.
Well,
things.
it's front of mind now. You did a gift card giveaway. I
did.
think.
Yeah. And that was well received. I did one for I forget all the places, but people loved it, and I went back to Vivo. Place was packed and everything. The unfortunate part was I think I went back recently again, and the place was like dead.
Avivo was?
Yeah.
I feel like I feel the same way. Like it's hit or miss sometimes.
Avivo was dead recently?
Yeah, like barely
that's too
anybody there.
bad.
It's unfortunate. Yeah, it's like I wish them the best. Hope they do well. We had a great experience when we went, and hopefully, Chris's list can kind of like put this back on people's radars. That's what's missing.
Yeah.
In a lot of these places, like they have these pleas for help. People go there, blast them, help them out, and then after a month,
The fall off is real.
People
Yeah.
forget. Yeah.
all right, we have 2 left on this list. Number 2, Bronx Pizza.
Yes. So funny thing about Bronx, so that was the second visit I've had. The first visit, I was just having like a lunch up there. I knew the bartender, and the owner was kind of like sitting next to me.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm just eating it. And this is when I was doing food reviews at this time. Right? I don't know how long they've been open, but I didn't review it because I had like it wasn't good.
Mm-hmm.
Like it wasn't good at all. The meatball was good, but there was something with the sauce. And so the nice thing is the owner asked me about it, and I was like, well, you want me to be honest?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I let him know about the sauce because it had the tartness to it, and I was just like, don't get me wrong, everything is good, but it could be better. And for me, like I don't do the tartness when it comes to like the sauce. Like it needs to have some type of thing. So he explained to me how it's not even sugar. That's how I learned. It's not even sugar that can get you that little bit of sweetness or take it off. You just throw a potato in the sauce. Yeah.
Interesting.
He said just throw a potato in there. So I never looked up exactly what he meant, like with the peel, without the peel. But he's like, yeah, you just throw the potato in there, take it out, and it gets rid of that tartness.
But obviously, the second time it was
and then the second
much
time
different.
I go, it was much different. The sauce was nice. The crust is different, but it was like it's like a yeasty type crust. I felt like, but it had a good crunch, and the sauce was nice. The funny thing is on that video too, the pizza looks dry.
Yeah.
When it came out, and it's just the reheat process that they do. But it was so good underneath. Like the quality of the toppings was superb. Like they had like this meatball on there and sausage.
Which pizza was it?
Maybe it was called the Bronx.
Was it the Empire? Like I think that's the version of the Supreme.
No, yeah, but it was straight meat with the cheese.
Was it an all meat lovers top pizza?
It was all meat. That's why I thought.
Might have been the Little Italy, wasn't it?
I
don't know. Yeah. Well, I had a similar experience. I went to Bronx towards the beginning of it opening, and it was okay. I don't even know if I did a review. I didn't hate it, but I didn't love it.
Yeah.
And I live pretty far away from Bronx Pizza, so I didn't go back until maybe 2 months ago. It was right around the time you were doing the pizza tour, maybe a little bit before. I don't know. But I would put Bronx in my top 5.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd do 2, me personally, but definitely top 5. I was really impressed.
You're right. Little Italy.
The Little Italy?
Empire's their supreme.
Okay.
We love Bronx. I wonder, when's the first time you went? Was it? You said it was a while ago.
It was a while ago.
They've since changed like management and all sorts of stuff there.
And ownership.
Yeah, I think the ownership. Yeah. So first time we went, pizza was good. I mean, it could have been better. The service was really, really slow. This was also like the first month they opened.
Yeah.
We went back. We've gone back 2 times in the last month and a half. And because like that first time we had like family over, and I was like, I'm gonna order like a few pizzas from there. Everybody's like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. Where's it from and everything. Everybody kept asking. I'm like, from a place called the Bronx, over on was it 21st and Amadon?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and then we had a family gathering again about 2 weeks ago, and they go, what's that place that you went to get pizza? I was like, Bronx? Is that what you're talking about? Like, yeah. So we ordered, I think, 6 pizzas from there. And I don't know if you've ever seen the large pizza.
Yeah,
And it's like
huge.
20 inches, something like that. It's,
Holy
it's
cow.
massive.
It is huge. Yeah.
But
I was just going to say, credit to Bronx because, when I went back the second time, revamped menu.
Yeah.
Because I did go back and look at their old menu when I
paper
taken
menu?
photos of. Yep.
Yeah.
There was nobody there the first time I went, or 1 or 2 people.
Right.
It was crowded when I went the second time. It was popping. I mean, they've really done something right. They looked at what wasn't working, I guess, and they said, let's do something different and let's do it well. So
the one of the people managing the place I went to college with, his name's Paul. Great dude. So everybody goes to Bronx, ask for Paul. He's doing a wonderful job there. He's worked at many restaurants around town, so he's a lot of experience. I know they got live music there now, and it's a cool place to watch a game. But they've really turned things around there. Hopefully for the better.
Yeah, that's nice.
All right, number 1. Oh yeah, real quick. Bronx was the first pizza on your list that was by the slice.
Yes. So I've always looked at the menu for the slice option, just because, like I said, that's the New York thing in my mind.
Yeah.
Like, I want it by the slice. I want it, because I feel like that's the best way to get it.
All right.
So yeah, that was the first place that offered it by the slice.
Before we get into number 1, I'm going to do a little off tangent. Pizza chains. One of your last videos you did was on Godfathers. Right?
Yes.
And you said that was one of your favorites.
Yes.
So, of all the national pizza chains, is that number 1 for you?
interesting.
I think it is.
I'm gonna run off a list of
I do.
chains, and we'll compare them real quick.
Okay.
So you have Pizza Hut, Papa John's, Casey's, Domino's, Papa Murphy's, Hunt Brothers, Chuck E. Cheese, Little Caesars, Cece's, Pizza Ranch, and then Sbarro.
I haven't had Sbarro.
You have never had Sbarro?
I have. I've heard
Never?
a lot
Oh
about
my
it.
gosh.
I never
You ever
had
went to like the
Sbarro.
mall as a kid? Got like a big slice of Sbarro?
Oh man.
I feel like they were a different brand when I had it in the mall because it was recently, like
Okay.
whatever it was before they
Yeah,
closed.
they haven't had Sbarro in
don't
Wichita Mall for a while.
Yeah, so I don't remember if I did have it.
Okay.
I probably
Yeah,
had it when
yeah.
I was a kid, but I don't remember.
It was like it was called Villa Pizza Kitchen or something like that. That's what it was like
Mm.
in the past like couple years.
Yeah,
They had a place called Mary's Italian Kitchen
yeah. I
that just
seen
closed also. But so you're saying Godfather's better than all of those?
I like Godfather.
Yeah.
So if you go back to like old school, the pan pizza from Pizza Hut is crazy. I will say Little Caesars pizza when it's fresh, like
Yeah.
if you're eating in the
Yeah.
car, don't let it get home.
Mhm.
It's pretty good. I'm a big Domino's fan, so that's my family favorite. Like if we're ordering out, I get Domino's.
Yeah.
That's been the most consistent. But I gotta give it to Godfather's. But only the Supreme.
Mm-hmm.
That Supreme with everything on it is just something about it. You can eat it cold, eat it hot. It doesn't matter. I feel like it's always good.
Now,
Amazing.
your mom, is it your mom or
Yeah.
your grandmother that loves it?
Well, it was all of them.
It was all
my
of 'em,
mom,
but-
my aunt, my grandmother, like all of them. So
Yeah.
I remember having a couple times when I was younger too.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'd have to go with Sbarro if you're
Yeah.
asking me. And I did grow up going to the mall
Yeah.
and getting the big slice.
Mm-hmm.
And one of my favorite shows is The Office, and I always think about Michael Scott going to New York City for an interview or something.
Yeah.
And he sees Sbarro over there. He's like, "I'm gonna get myself a New York slice," you know. So
For us,
Yeah.
how you mentioned like family favorites and yours is Domino's. Ours is Little Caesars. Like if the kids go, hey, what pizza do you want? The kids like, we want Little Caesars. And
Yeah.
for me, it's like, that's cheap. That's fine. You know, I'll go gladly spend $5-6 on pizza for y'all.
Right.
Yeah.
And they have some of the best breadsticks.
Yes.
I mean, if you get if they come out fresh and they're buttered up, oh, it's heaven.
Yeah.
Um,
I have friends that tell me I need to go back because I haven't had Little Caesars in years.
oh yeah,
oh really?
Like it might have been a decade,
Oh,
but I
wow.
know they've revamped.
I'll bet it's been a
since then.
decade for me too.
But I know they revamped, and my friends like, man, that's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Just
Oh,
grab
it's-
some Little Caesars.
I mean, for strict value, I mean, you look at places like Cece's for value, and
Yeah.
then like Little Caesars, and Little Caesars blows them all away. And I would go there strictly for the breadsticks. I mean, it's funny because like last time I went to Bronx to do that family order, there's a Little Caesars next door. I went next door and picked up some breadsticks. I'm like, hey,
Yeah. Do your thing.
yeah. But for chain wise, one of my favorites is. You ever been to Hunt Brothers?
I've
I've
never
never
had
been.
Hunt Brothers either.
Oh, gas station pizza. It's probably my favorite. They actually have it inside the arcade.
Oh.
Oh,
Yeah.
you're
Okay.
right.
Yep.
I may have had a slice when I went to the arcade the last time. I'm not sure.
But my favorite place for Hunt Brothers is it's a little gas station out in Southwest Wichita called Gotta Stop, I think.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's over on
Yeah.
MacArthur and I don't even know what it is.
Yeah. I'm trying to think too.
You're gonna have to hit that up, man.
I might have to. I might do a little mini tour of chains.
Yeah.
I'll do a
Yeah, it's
mini
called
tour of
Gotta
chains.
Stop Gas Station over at 5600 West MacArthur.
Mm.
They used to do barbecues on Thursdays, like a little barbecue pop up, which is great. But yeah, the Hunt Brother pizzas there is great. I get loaded up, nice little thin cracker style crust. It's the best. Before we reach number one, we're also going to talk about pizzas outside of Wichita.
Yeah.
So you went to some places. Any other ones that stuck out? Or other ones are worthwhile to you?
So I feel like I've had a couple, but
I know you went.
Minsky's was pretty good. I've had Minsky's before. It's pretty consistent. It's
Where's
not
that
my it's in Kansas City
Okay.
area. I know they have a few locations.
Uh-huh.
It's kind of all over. But I would say my favorite experience was at Pizza Tashio. So they kind of do the same thing where you can buy it by the slice. They reheat it. You can get one fresh. But I had it recently when they did a barbecue. They
Mashup?
did a collab mashup with
Yeah, with-
Buck-Two
Yeah,
Barbecue.
yeah.
And the pizza with the pulled pork on it, it's amazing.
Where is this at?
Pizza Tashio, they got
Yeah.
a few locations in the Casey area as well.
Okay. I was thinking you rated Mario, is it Mario and Luigi's in Andover?
Oh,
Bob and Luigi's?
Bob and
Yeah.
Luigi's.
Yeah.
You rated that kind of high, didn't you?
Yeah, it was pretty good. I think I ended up giving it the sizzle bizzle. They had, I think, their cheeseburger pizza, which is like a ketchup and mustard base. Like it was pretty
That
good.
actually sounds good.
It was really good. But again, it just goes back to the crust.
Yeah.
The crust was a little bit thicker, and I wasn't the biggest fan. But as far as pizza goes, like it's good pizza.
So I've got just something for people to know, because it when I went and had Bob and Luigi's the first time, it was DoorDash.
Before they closed or after they closed?
Before they closed, I had DoorDash, and it probably was. I mean, it obviously wasn't completely hot right out of the oven.
Right.
It was okay. It was okay. Went back after they reopened and ate it within 5 minutes. Drove got it to go. Drove somewhere, and everybody was like, "Oh my gosh, this is amazing," and including me.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't. Maybe it changed during the closing, but I mean, it's same pizza place, but it's all about just even the timing, you know.
That's very true.
Yeah.
I will say Bob and Luigi's was one that I actually delivered a bunch of boxes to someone, so it was a while before I got to dig in it. But you notice on every other places, I try to eat pizza fresh. That way, it's all the same level playing field.
Yep.
But that was one. It was good, but like I said, I waited a while before I ate it. But it's just that type of crust they use as well.
I have not been to Bob and Luigi since they reopened, and yeah, it stinks because I'm way out west Wichita, so like a lot of times we're getting pizza for the family. It's to go or we go there to eat. But I do have some family in Andover, so I'm gonna recommend I just go hop on in and bring pizza to their house.
Yeah, plan a night out there.
One of my favorite pizzas outside of Wichita is Pizza John's in Derby. The crust, the seasoning. I don't know if you guys ever had it, but
I have.
I love it, and it's funny because I've never eaten at Pizza John's. I've always got it to go, and I feel like it travels. That type of crust just travels well.
Yeah.
And yeah, huge fan.
So I think I was actually talking to Chris about this, but I've eaten at so many small town pizzerias. I mean, I'll bet you 20.
Yeah.
And
it's all over.
Everywhere across the state. And the type of pizza that Pizza John's does is very similar to all in having a small pan pizza, having the middle pan pizza, all these different sizes so that, grandma can get her own pizza if she wants to. Yeah. And Fert the foodie can get his own pizza if he wants to,
Yeah.
But I really did enjoy it for sure.
Yeah.
And the other place I really liked, I just went to the other week, was Pizzacco's. That's the place. That's the place, TKJ, you told me to go check out. It's in Hutchinson. Have you ever been there?
I've never heard of that.
Have you ever had like a pizza taco? Do you remember when Charlie's Pizza Taco was in Wichita?
I do not.
Okay, so it's basically just taco or a pizza folded up like a taco, and
okay.
they have one. Was the original one in Pratt?
The original one was in Pratt, and then they got new ownership, and blah blah blah. Things changed, and it became a restaurant that's there today called the Chateau. But it's not the same recipe as the original pizza taco there. And then either the granddaughter
Yep.
of the owner that had the original recipe in Pratt opened up her spot in Hutch.
Yeah.
And so I was talking to Eddie. I'm like, dude, I've been wanting to go there forever. And we put it on the calendar to go on like a Friday or something. And then I had to back out. And Eddie's like, well, I'm still going to go.
See ya. Yeah. Oh, definitely worth the drive. And it was excellent pizza. I even got like one of those little miniature, 7-inch pizzas also. And yeah, that was a good spot. Has anybody been to Amy's Pizza Place in Mulvane?
Is that no? No, I haven't been there. They have an Italian spot in Mulvane too that I've been wanting.
Luciano's.
Yeah.
Have you never been there?
I haven't.
It's probably been 10 years for me. I need to go back.
Yeah. I went. Kept rescheduling, and then I finally went, and they were closed. I was like, no.
That's why I was like Empire Tacos. I've been trying to go there multiple times, and like one time I went there, they said they're closed because of COVID. Another time I went there, they're closed for some random reason. And then I finally recently went during our little road trip, but by then I was like 6 restaurants in. I was not in the mood for food.
I know.
Right.
Yeah.
Other popular places around town. I mean, you look at like Gambino's.
Yeah.
Which Gambinos did you check out?
So I went to the one in Colwich.
Colwich.
Yep.
The original Gambinos, I think it is.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oddly enough, when I did the most liked pizza tournament deal, Gambinos and Colwich won. It riled a lot of people up because the whole city of Colwich pretty much came out and voted for them.
Yeah.
I mean, that's happened. I did that with burgers, and since then I've changed it to where it's just like Wichita only places. So like one city can't come in and bully everybody over.
The funny thing about Gambinos is when I was like before I started this pizza tour, I would always do like a diet every year, and they got that cauliflower crust at Gambino's. We used to love it. Like it comes out crispy, all the toppings on top. It was delicious. So I thought Gambino's would have been higher, but I never had their regular pizza. I've always had the cauliflower crust, which is different. And so it's fun. I thought it was going to be much higher. It was the cauliflower crust was super nice. It was a go-to.
I think there is it Wellington where there's a big cheese.
Big cheese pizza?
Yeah. And the same thing with Gambino's where it started off as a chain, but it got taken off as a chain, and now it's just a standalone. And the big cheese in Wellington, it's the same thing. And so you've got that following of all the people that grew up going to Gambino's when it was this big national chain.
Yeah.
And so you just have that loyalty, which is cool. It's cool.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's funny because people tell me all the time, like, you got to go to this city. I have the best Gambinos. You got to go to this city. It's like there's like 3 different Gambinos. People are telling me like the breadsticks there. You got to different locations.
The owners of Norton's, they used to own a Gambino's back in the day.
Really?
Yeah.
Here in Wichita?
Not here. I want to say Arc City or something like that, but it was somewhere outside Wichita.
Okay.
All right. Let's go ahead and move on to number 1 finally.
Yes.
You have, it's by the slice, you put Nola's Pizza down.
Nola's Pizza.
Did you get any grief for that?
I didn't.
No?
Yeah.
I didn't.
Okay.
A lot of people were like, well, okay, I did get a little bit because people were like, oh, I don't know. I'll have to go back and try it. It wasn't good when I went. So I always emphasize get it by the slice. And that's because working in the car business, we used to order out all the time, and Nola's was on that list. And like me and my buddy Chick, like we didn't even eat the pizza. We just ate the toppings.
Yeah. Because it comes off right for you.
Yeah. They just spill over for you. It's just so much. But we would just leave the bread alone because we weren't that big of fans of it. So when I went to the location and I saw they had an option, that's the first time I saw
Which
it.
which location?
Downtown, right?
No, I went to the east one
Okay.
off of Central and Rock.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I saw they had the option for the slice. I quickly changed my mind. I was like, oh, I'm just going to get it by the slice. And I'll get a cheese and I'll get a, I forget what the other topping, maybe pepperoni and sausage. That's usually my go-to. And man, the crust on there had the crunch. It wasn't too thin, but it was crispy. It was just so good with the toppings and cheese on there.
I'm a fan of Nola's.
Yeah.
And we get it quite frequently. It's not too far out of our way to grab a box and make it home at a decent time. But I just actually posted about Nola's, I don't know, within the last week.
Yeah.
And I got some grief for it. So that's why I thought maybe but I mean, I think people, it's like everything. It's the preferences we talk about, and there are people, you either love it or you hate it. And the reason I love it is the reason that somebody else hates it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's food. But yeah, no, I like Nola's.
I used to live right around the corner from the Central and Rock location, and my brother and I lived together, and he'd always grab it to go and bring it home, like the hamburger pizza or whatever. And yeah, the fact that all the toppings just kept falling, like you pick up a slice and it was a little droopy.
Yeah, it gets droopy.
Yeah, once that happens, and then like it's like a roller coaster or an avalanche of toppings that just come down. I'm like, this is just annoying. So I gotta say, I haven't been a huge fan of Nola's. I have been told that you can order to where the cheese is on top over the toppings.
Yeah, and so that's what, when I got my order, I was surprised to see it that way.
So I wonder if they do that by the slide. Do they do that as a matter of course?
I was looking at the pizza. I was looking
know.
at the pictures online, and it looks like it looks like that way, to where the the cheese is over the top. But
Yeah, because that's what a lot of people said to me was like, I never get my cheese on top of my pizza. I was like, I don't know what to tell you.
You know what? I must be a bad foodie because I never noticed it until right now that I can recall sometimes I've gotten a pizza from Nola's with the cheese over the top, like you said. Mm-hmm. But I know for a fact the last time the toppings were on the top because I posted about it and people were talking about it.
It's like
100%.
Yeah, I had Nola's 2 nights ago.
So, you did?
I need to go. So you had pizza 2 nights ago and last night?
Yeah. My girls, it was her. She had to play, and she wanted pizza. Yeah. So I was like, let's just get some pizza.
Man,
I'm gonna have to go back to Nola's then. I do know that there are different owners for different Nola's around town. I think there's the east and west ones have different owners, I believe.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Yeah, so maybe I will go back. Or have you been to the downtown one? Is that?
Yes, I have been to downtown, but only for their salad because I love their salad.
Okay, add to the list. All right, so that was your top 5. Are there any ones that you think
deserve to be recognized? I can think of 2. So I don't even need to look at my list.
Okay.
But I think Chris and I are going to disagree on this one.
Yeah.
Piatto. I love
huge fan.
Piatto.
Huge fan.
Yeah.
In fact, Piatto would be my number 1.
I got
personally.
a lot of flack.
That would
you did.
Piatto.
Piatto would probably be my top 1, if not 2. Yeah.
I mean, you'll probably be able to explain this better, but what my understanding of the oven is it actually was imported from somewhere in northern Italy.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's like
handmade
an OG
for us.
thing. I mean, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And I had gone to Piatto multiple times or several times before I started my official food blog, and loved it. But it's not a convenient place for me to get food. And so finally, probably 4 or 5 months ago, I stopped by. And actually, I took it to go, and Eddie, it carried fine.
Yeah.
But big Piatto fan.
And I think Piatto is like, there's a lot of places in town that have like wood-fired ovens, and like Piatto is like true wood-fired from like start to finish. Some have like gas assist or whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who all does it, but I do know Piatto is like just straight up wood-fire, and that crust of the. Sometimes you can get just the little breadsticks, so just the dough in there. Oh man, Piatto is top 2 for me at least.
I've got one more controversial one,
and
I think Eddie's gonna be on the other side of this. I don't know.
Is it Papa John's?
No.
Okay.
No. It is a chain though, but it wasn't on your list. Grimaldi's.
Oh,
yeah. Okay.
I forgot about Grimaldi's.
I love Grimaldi's.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm not a big chain guy. I mean, you could go on my food blog and find 5 chains in the last 2 years, but 3 of those times or 2 of those times it's going to be Grimaldi's.
Yeah.
And it is going back to what we were saying earlier, the reasons that I love something are the reasons that someone hates it.
Yeah.
It's a sloppy pizza. But to me, Bronx and Grimaldi's are the most New York style-ish in Wichita.
Wichita-esque, yeah. Wichita takes.
So, funny thing is, so Piatto, I can see people loving that. It just wasn't my style of pizza.
Mm-hmm.
But Grimaldi's, I definitely agree with you because I went on opening day and I reviewed it and it got the sizzle bizzle.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
Uh-huh.
It's just when I went back, I think it was because I got the pizza and I added mushrooms to it.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I ruined the pizza because it was sloppier than usual. Like the crust was basically just coming apart. That's how sloppy it was. When the first time I went, it was nice, had a good crunch to it, good bite. And so it was, I expected Grimaldi's to be very high on my list.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just one of those things where it just like didn't work out that way. I was like, dang.
Yeah, it's just interesting, like people always like, these bloggers that like all the same stuff and whatnot. But we're just here, we have vastly different opinions like on top 5s. You're putting Piatto in and you're not. You're putting Nola's in, you're not. I wouldn't. And just it's crazy. Like another one that would make my top 5 list would be Ziggy's.
I was just going to bring up Ziggy's.
See,
I wouldn't put it in my top 5. But I would put it in my top 10.
Yeah,
definitely.
Chris,
Ziggy's. So one, I've never been a big Ziggy's fan. because I never had a lot, but usually when I was drinking and I was in Clifton Square, I always remember the pizza being like, and the toppings being separate when you bite into
Yeah.
it. Like it was never like a unison bite. But when I went this last time for the pizza tour, it was definitely the worst experience I've had at Ziggy's.
Wow. Okay.
Like even my kids didn't finish their pizza.
Wow.
That's how bad it was.
What did you? Do you remember
Which
what you got?
location? Which location?
right here on
13th?
13th,
Okay.
and just it was bad. Like the crust was just real chewy. The toppings were just like I said again. It was just like you bite in and you taste the toppings versus the crust separately. Like a pizza is supposed to be melty cheese and
That's how I feel about Nola's, But I gotta try that cheese over the toppings. version.
yeah.
No, I'm a Ziggy's fan. I think Ziggy's might be the first local pizzeria or pizza place that I ate at in Wichita. I'm pretty sure that's a correct statement. And I used to live in College Hill, so it makes sense.
Yeah.
I played basketball. I used to play basketball weekly in College Hill, and then after basketball, we'd go over to Ziggy's for a beer and some pizzas. And oh man,
Taco pizza?
No, I don't do taco. I do the classic Ziggy's, which is their supreme.
Yeah.
Wichita loves taco pizza. I will say every time I went somewhere and it was good, people would always be like, "You got to get their taco." Like 5, 6.
Yeah, I don't get it. I'm not a big taco pizza guy,
I'm
but
not.
I'm a pizza taco guy.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, it's kind of like I think it's because of the obsession with Mexican food. I mean, which I love.
And Tex-Mex.
And
for the most part, yeah.
Tex-Mex,
Yeah.
correct. And a taco pizza is like the highest form of Tex-Mex.
So you're not a taco pizza fan, or is that your first choice?
So I will try anything. The reason why I've been turned off from taco pizza, I'm not against it. I still will try it again. But car business days, they used to get the taco pizza from Pizza Hut, and that is the worst thing in the world to me. With the salsa, like that's the store bought salsa.
Yeah,
it's not
cheap.
even like good salsa. And it's just like this is not good.
I mean, I love salsa. I love Mexican food. I love all of it, but I don't want to combine both.
So you don't like pizza?
Taco pizza? No. Generally, no. I do like Ziggy's taco pizza. It's the same thing for me with cheeseburger pizza. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not sure where off the top of my head, but there's a place, and I love their cheeseburger pizza.
Yeah.
It's really good. But generally, if I'm going to have ketchup and mustard, I want it on my burger or my hot dog.
Right.
I don't want it on my pizza. So,
So 2 more that are on my list that I do like. Have you ever had the thin crust pizza over at Social Tap?
Yes.
That's on my list. I'm going to Social Tap.
Okay.
I got this one follower that just hits me up all the time.
Yeah.
Like, you gotta go.
that's Sangrano pizzas.
Well, I mean, Sangrano, Wheatley's. I just call it Social Tap.
Yeah.
But you can only go to the one on WC campus for the pizza.
Yeah.
Yeah. The thin crust. Yeah, give it a try. And the other one, this is a specialty pizza. O'Malley's Irish Pub out in Southwest Wichita has an Irish pizza with corned beef, sauerkraut, hamburger, onions, olives.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you love that, you love the Irish food and whatnot. That's one of my favorites.
I have not been there, nor eaten that. No, but I'm down.
Bar food wise, O'Malley's is probably top 3 for me.
Just
Nice.
bar
Yeah, bar food, like bars that serve food, I should say.
Yeah.
Excellent stuff.
What do you think about? Because I didn't hear you put it on the chain list. Did you say Cheesy's?
I miss Cheesy's.
Oh,
Yeah.
man. I was waiting. I was
Okay.
holding on to that one.
Okay.
I had a great experience at Cheesy's.
Yes, I remember that.
It was
Yeah,
a
yeah.
great experience. Their crust is the closest thing I've had to the old school Pizza Hut pan pizza. It was so good. Now, I didn't have to travel far
Mhm.
because my buddy lives down the street, but it was so good.
Which location?
West Street.
Okay.
I did not know there was. How many locations are there?
There's one downtown.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's over by Norton's. There's one there.
Yeah.
I don't know, but there's multiple.
Yeah.
I have found. I mean, it's probably like every place with multiple locations. It really varies by the location you go to.
Yeah.
I had a really bad experience with the one downtown.
Mhm.
I had a good experience with the one on West Street. Like the kids loved it, and
Yeah.
it's one place we've never ordered again. Just we forget about it.
Has it been a while since you went to the one downtown?
It's probably been 4 years, 4 or 5
Okay.
years.
So I had never heard of Cheesy's, and other than seeing some ads and things like that.
Right.
I'd never been to Cheesy's until this past winter. I was going to an event at Century 2, and it was like, I haven't eaten. This thing starts at 7. I've got 10 minutes or something like that. And I see this Cheesy's place. I'm like, I'll bet that's quick. So I go in and order a couple small pizzas, I think, get in the car, and I'm eating it. And, of course, the drive from there to Century 2 is not going to take too long. But I scarfed down almost all of both pizzas, which Eddie knows is, pretty impressive. Because I was like,
not even believable.
Yeah.
I know. Because I thought it was really good. I mean, I was expecting, frankly, and I'm not a huge person on giving negative reviews, but I walked in thinking I'm going to end up, talking some smack on it. And I was like, no, that was way better than I expected.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to go back soon for that one.
Yeah, it was
Cheesy's and Bob Luigi's are on my list.
Yes.
Definitely.
Anything else on your honorable mention list that you...
That's pretty much it on mine. I did have Social Tap on there.
Yeah.
I just checked my notes. It was the Carne Roar that I had eaten at Social Tap that I really enjoyed.
Okay.
One place I do need to get to next, it's been on my list for outside of Wichita, is Kilroy's.
Yes. I had a
Sedgwick.
great experience with Kilroy's.
Mm-hmm.
It was pretty good. Even though it had the same crust, it was just something with the sauce and the toppings. Like, it was like, this is really good. And they got it crunchier than a lot of the places I had, because it's the same crust. But they got it crunchier than what I was being served before.
There's a pizza place over west of Wichita.
Mario's?
No, it's
Houdini's in Kingman?
That's in Kingman. It's maybe in Cheney.
DeMario's?
Oh, DeMario's.
DeMario's,
the bowling alley?
Yeah. That's good.
Yeah.
That's really good.
I think DeMario's is like a branch or like some lineage to Gambino's or Godfather's, is like something like that, because a lot of them have the very similar, so I'll have to look into it. But
Yeah, I think I've had that a while ago. We did. We golfed out there at Cherry Hills, and I'm pretty sure we had lunch there afterwards. I remember it being decent, but it was like a decade ago. It was a while ago.
Yeah.
all right, Chris. So what's next up for you these days? Any other tours planned? You gonna take a break from that stuff?
Yeah.
Well, obviously you're still eating pizza.
Right.
So.
Yeah. I'm still eating.
Just keep on doing pizza tours.
Yeah.
No, I don't know about tours yet. Tours is just a lot of commitment. It's a lot of eating the same pizza and after doing the same things.
Yeah.
Look, pizza's still on my mind. It's a lot. So I think I am going to start doing some tours, but it's going to be like kind of intertwined. It's not going to be back to back to back anymore. So I got to get back to just Wichita businesses, period.
Yeah.
So I really want to focus on different spots here, because there was a lot of spots that I missed out on because I was doing the pizza tour. So I really want to get caught up. So that's what the month of March is dedicated to.
A lot of restaurants have probably opened over the last 2 months.
Yeah. So a lot of places that I want to go check out. But you can expect a couple places where I'm going to start comparing it to other places. Like, just to give you guys an example, I may be doing like some wings, and then when I do reviews, I'll compare it to another spot. Just to kind of do some mini tours. But it's just getting back to just Wichita businesses and just really trying to shed a lot more light. Mixing it up a little bit where, I'm not being too hard of a critic and just really just trying to get some exposure for some restaurants. That's my main focus.
My piece of advice on the tours, I did a burger tour. I've done the pho tour, and I did a tiramisu tour. Like, you need to give it like months break, like months and months. I think I waited a year between pho and tiramisu, just because like you're trying these foods that you love, but then when you overdo it, then you hate the foods you love, and that's a struggle. And there's a couple of tours I've been wanting to do, but I'm like, I just don't know if I can do it because I don't want that feeling again.
Right.
I did a chili tour last year in the wintertime, and then I did a chili tour this past winter, and it was incredibly mini this past winter, especially in comparison to your tour.
Yeah.
And it was because of kind of just getting burnt out.
Yeah.
And I remember the first year I did it, I think I did like 18 or 20 chilies. And the last 2 chilies, I actually went to 2 different places, brought home, the 2 different chilies and stuck that spoon in my mouth, and I was like, I don't like it because I don't like chili right now. And I was like, chili tour is officially over.
Done.
Yeah, I've always wanted to do a wing tour, but when you take into account bars and everything, the wings are just it's stupid how many there are in town.
Exactly.
You could probably do 100 places.
Like I've eaten a taco at I don't even know how many places, like probably 70 or 80 places within the last couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
But I know if I did a taco tour,
oh my gosh,
that'd take a year, and life would suck.
Yeah, it'd be rough. So
yeah.
I'm just no interest to do a tour.
Yeah, I hear you.
No interest right now.
All right, Chris, let the readers, listeners, or wherever this is, know how to follow you.
Yeah, so you can follow me on all socials, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok at Jackstacks.Eats. That's JACKSTACKS.Eats, EATS. On YouTube, it's hyphen because they don't allow you to put the period on there. So it's Jackstacks-Eats. But yeah, you can find a lot of my content on there. YouTube. Threads. I'm on Threads.
He's on the
Twitter X.
All 20 people in Wichita on Threads. Come follow us.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Well, appreciate you having you on. We're gonna need to do this again. This was a fun conversation.
Yeah.
So
thank you for having me. This was great.
Awesome.
TKG. Thanks again.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right. Catch y'all later.